Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Point of View with Miss Shirley Polk. It's a wonderful day, and I am so thankful. This is Tuesday. It is the 10th, I believe, 10th of June in the year 2025. Dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. Okay, today, stop worrying about people and do the right thing. And I mean, stop worrying about things you have no control over. You can be concerned about others. We're supposed to be concerned about each other. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stop worrying about what people think of you, how they affect your lives in negative ways, things that you cannot do anything about. You have to have control as much as possible of your own life. So stop worrying about people and do the right thing, because we know there are people in this world who try to live their lives through you, and their lives are ragged, terrible, and then they're trying to live your life for you, tell you how to live your life when their life is not together. There's so many things that I could say about that, but we're going on into this, and I am going to talk about there are some things about how to stop worrying about what other people think of you. Consider the following strategies, and this is helpguide.org. Helpguide.org. Number one, know what your know that you are not a mind reader. You can't know what others think about you. Know that you are not a mind reader. You cannot know what others think about you. Number two, understand that it's never about you. Other people's opinions are not about you. Number three, stop judging yourself. Number four, stop judging others. Five, use your worry as guidance. Six, expect reactions from others. Next, focus on long term happiness. And eight, approve of yourself. That's where a major problem lies. People are so affected, so determined to know what other people think about them till they can't approve of themselves, because they have all this noise in their heads coming in their ears, and this one thinks this one said that, and all of that. Look, approve of yourself. You have to approve of yourself. APPROVE. Approve of yourself. Then we go into our first reading here, and we are in simple psychology. Simply psychology.org. Simply psychology.org. Okay, now what are we going to talk about? How to stop worrying about things you can't control. How to stop worrying about things you can't control. This was released on May the 10th, 2025, and it's Hattie Brown, and that Brown is with an E on the end, BROWNE, and the first name is HADDI. How to stop worrying about things you can't control. So, in today's fast paced and sometimes chaotic world, it's normal for worries to consume our minds. That's a norm, goes on every day all over the world. People often expend energy worrying about external factors they cannot control. Don't we do that? Don't we do that? We do it until we learn not to do it and we practice not doing it. Worry is a form of repetitive, future oriented thinking that involves concerns about potential negative outcomes or threats. It is characterized by a sense of uncertainty and desire to control or prevent anticipated negative events. Worry often involves what if questions or scenarios as individuals attempt to mentally prepare for or avoid possible adverse situations. So, for many, these worries become particularly burdensome when they revolve around things beyond our control. When they revolve around things beyond our control. And I remember one study I read in one presentation I did where it said that 85% of the things that we worry about are not going to happen. 85% of the things that we worry about are not going to happen. So, so whether we worry about the future, feel anxious about global events, or fixate on personal circumstances, the weight of uncontrollable worries can feel overwhelming. And that is so true. All of us have been through that. All of us have been through these worrying spouts. Some are still going through them. So, this is especially true for people with conditions such as generalized anxiety disorder. And that acronym is all capitals GAD, and that is generalized anxiety disorder. GAD is a common anxiety disorder that causes people to worry excessively about various things like health, relationships, money, and global events. So, when does worrying become a problem? It is when worries start controlling our actions and our feelings, making it hard for us to function normally. Now, that is telling us when we should be very concerned. When does worrying become a problem? When worries start controlling our actions and our feelings, making it hard for us to function normally. While it is normal to think about the future, it is essential to distinguish between normal worries, a natural response, and excessive anxiety, which is a hindrance. So it is important to realize that we cannot control everything we worry about. And common sense tells us that. But when people are chronic worriers, that does not even enter their mind because they're beyond the rational thinking when it comes to the worrying. So it is important to realize that we cannot control everything we worry about. Recognizing the inherent uncertainty of life marks the first step toward liberation from worry. So we have 12 techniques which may help you and all of us who need this help to stop worrying about things that are not in your control, things that are not in our control. Number one, identify what is and isn't in your control. That's number one. These are techniques which may help to stop worrying about things that are not in our control. Identify what is and isn't in your control. That's number one. Accept that some parts of life are beyond your power to change, no matter how much you may wish otherwise. All of us have been through that, and we're going to go through it some more if we keep living, okay? As long as we live, we're going through some of these spouts. So we have to accept some parts of life are beyond our power to change, no matter how much we wish otherwise. So instead of resisting or denying this fact, it is a fact. It's not an alternative fact. It is a fact. So instead of resisting or denying this fact, accept situations for what they are without judgment or attachment. This is nice. So, focusing your energy on controllable worries empowers you to feel in control over some aspects of life and direct your energy where it counts. So this reduces feelings of helplessness or uncertainty, releasing you from trying to manipulate the uncontrollable. And we know that we have all been guilty of it, trying to manipulate the uncontrollable because we didn't know any better. Hey, not to try. Some things we cannot control. Okay? So, furthermore, develop a habit of practicing gratitude for what is within your control. Take time each day to appreciate your strengths, your accomplishments, and the positive aspects of your life. Take time to appreciate yourself, approve of yourself. That's what that, I think it was number 8 on the list that I read. Approve of yourself. Take time each day to appreciate your strengths, appreciate your accomplishments, and appreciate the positive aspects of your life. So it may be helpful to break down your worrisome situation into smaller, more manageable components, which can help you gain a more realistic perspective on the issue and your ability to cope with it. So, this problem solving activity can help shift your focus away from repetitive worries and towards more productive thoughts and actions. Don't we worry about things? And they say worrying is a sin because we're supposed to leave everything up to God. But God tells us not to worry because He knows we're going to worry. But then He tells us, if you give it to me, if you pray to me and leave that with me, I will help you and I will relieve you from that because I will take care of it. Okay? So make a list of the parts of your life where you have agency and influence, where your actions and choices directly impact the outcome. These may include your attitudes and responses to circumstances. Express gratitude for your opportunity to make positive choices and initiate meaningful change in these areas. Hey, we'll take it as it comes, won't we? We'll take it as it comes. Controllable and uncontrollable lists. Controllable and uncontrollable list. Number 1, brainstorm situations that trigger your worries. Number 2, for each worry, ask yourself, can I directly influence the outcome of this situation? If the answer is yes, add it to a list titled Controllable. These could include study habits, they could include budgeting strategies or communication tactics. Number 3, for worries, Where the answer is no, add them to the uncontrollable list. This could include the results of an exam, the stock market, or other people's behavior. And they've told us that you cannot control what other people do to you, but you can control what you do to other people. And you could put the word say in there. You can't control what other people say to you, but you can control what you say to other people, okay? All right, so they have a worksheet here on this site, which is simplypsychology.org. Simplypsychology.org. Now, our second part of this, schedule worry times. How about that? We might not have expected that when they say don't worry, but it says schedule worry times. If you're going to worry, you might as well schedule a time to just go ahead and do it for a certain amount of time. So establish dedicated worry times in your daily schedule. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes, preferably at the same time each day, for example, after lunch or early evening, to reflect on your worries. So if you're going to worry, set a time and worry and go on with the rest of your business after you worry, okay? Create a worry diary. For these sessions, using a notebook or digital app to write down your concerns, thoughts, and feelings. So while you're going to have the worry time, might as well write them down, okay? As you review your worry diary over time, identify recurring patterns or themes. Are there specific situations or patterns of thought that trigger your worries? This awareness empowers you to develop preventive strategies or seek additional support. And they always say seek additional support if you need it. Don't deny yourself of it, okay? If you need additional help, if you can't stop worrying unnecessarily. If you just worry, you might not know you're worrying unnecessarily. But if you're worrying and it's taking up most of your time, take inventory, okay? Then get some help. Get some help. My number is 469-629-9543. Peace of Mind Counseling. And then you can go to this site, which is simplypsychology.org. Alternatively, if you do not wish to keep a record of your worries, write them on paper and then eventually rip it up. The act of destroying the worry can be a strategy of letting go. Throughout the day, whenever worry pops into your head, try not to fixate on it. Briefly note the essence of the concern on your phone or on paper, and then revisit it during worry time. Include the situation that triggered the worry. Let's pay attention, okay? Pay attention and think about what caused this worry to come upon me at this time and why this type. Why am I worrying about this? Okay? So that's called a trigger. Why? Okay. Now, once the allotted time is up, close your worry diary and move on, reminding yourself that you have addressed your anxieties for now. Consciously transition your focus away from worrying and redirect your energy towards engaging in activities that make you feel relaxed and or happy. Good information. Good information. Number 3, allow it, don't suppress it. You hear that? Allow the worry, don't suppress the worry. Allow it, don't suppress it. And this is Julianne Schroeder. A licensed counselor explains that anxiety is unavoidable. It is not helpful to try to eliminate all worries because we need a certain level of worries to keep us motivated. For example, you may use a manageable amount of anxiety to help propel you to finish a college project. Licensed counselor Amanda Ruiz says the goal is not to eliminate stress, but to feel comfortable and confident and competent to face those stressors in a really healthy way. An instinctual response may be to suppress or ignore worry to try and regain control. However, pushing emotions down and denying their existence intensifies them in the long run. They're going to come out. They're going to come out. And the thing about it is, you don't know when. Okay? So it says, an instinctual response may be to suppress or ignore worry to try and regain control. However, pushing emotions down and denying their existence intensifies them in the long run. Now, according to ironic process theory, that's ironic process theory. Attempts to suppress unwanted thoughts, including those regarding pain or distress, may paradoxically increase awareness and salience of the thoughts and feelings that an individual wants to avoid. Instead, allow yourself to feel the anxiety slash worry fully without resistance. And some people might say, well, that's what we're trying not to do. But allow yourself to feel it. And it said, instead, allow yourself to feel the anxiety slash worry fully without resistance. This does not mean dwelling on it. See, there's where the problem comes in when you dwell on it, but rather acknowledging the presence of these feelings without judgment. When worry strikes, take a deep breath and say, I am feeling anxious right now. Labeling the emotion can help detach from it. Notice any physical sensations or patterns of thought associated with worry without trying to push them away. For example, racing heart, butterflies in your stomach, those things. So take note of that, okay? As you practice allowing worries to surface and flow through you, their intensity will diminish over time. Now, these are therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, these are people. They counsel and they treat people for anxiety and worry, okay? So, recognizing worry as a temporary experience takes away its power. The struggle comes from resistance, not the emotion itself. You hear that? The struggle comes from resistance, not the emotion itself. Psychotherapist Greg Dorter explains that thoughts pop into our heads all the time, and usually we don't pay any special attention to them. And I've mentioned this before. You could just be doing something, going about doing something, and it's some kind of a thought comes into your mind and you were not thinking about anything like that, and you wonder why in the world did that pop up in my head. This happens quite often, but certain thoughts tend to attract our attention. Instead of engaging them, just let them go, allowing them to pass out of your mind, just like a cloud passing through the sky or a leaf floating down a stream. Good advice. Yeah, you might say, and you can say, easier said than done. Practice, practice, practice. Okay. Number four, praise your ability to handle the unexpected. Worry often stems from fear of the unknown. You may catastrophize future scenarios. For example, what if happens? Style of thinking, and it does. Worrying about the future. What if this happens? What if that happens? Nothing we can do about it. And like that study that I reported some webcasts back, it said that 85% of the things that we worry about will not happen. Only about 15% of the things happen. So worry often stems from fear of the unknown. You may catastrophize future scenarios, assuming the worst and overlooking your resilience and adaptability when managing the unexpected. And you know, I talk about us being resilient, how God made us. We're resilient. The human being is so strong, so well put together, till we can take so much. That's how God made us. He made us in his own image and likeness. Wonderfully, fearfully made. He did all of that. We are resilient and we adapt well. Adaptability. We have the adaptability. Next, reflect on past experiences where you successfully managed unexpected events or adversities. I know you can think back and say, oh, this happened. And I did deal with that. Sometimes you go through it, you get through it, you don't want to think about it anymore. But it said reflect on past experiences where you successfully managed unexpected events or adversities. Identify the skills, identify the strengths, and coping mechanisms you used to overcome those challenges. Remember, think about it. How did I overcome that? What did I do? Think about it, okay? So perhaps you practiced self compassion. You know, we talk about self compassion. Sought support from loved ones. And we do have loved ones we can go to. You cannot go to everyone and tell them what's in your mind, but there is someone you can go to, someone that's trustworthy, okay? Or actively problem solved, okay? Perhaps you practiced self compassion. Perhaps you sought support from a loved one or loved ones, or you actively problem solved. Sometimes you think about it, settle down, you can solve it yourself if it's solvable, okay? Recognize these strengths as valuable tools you can rely on in the future. Think back to a time you faced a situation that initially triggered worry or anxiety. Did the worst case scenario actually happen? Focus on the ways you navigated the situation with strength and resourcefulness. How about that? Think about it. So, as you encounter new uncertainties, remind yourself of your past successes and gain confidence from the knowledge that you can cope with whatever life throws your way. When worry arises, challenge the automatic negative narrative. Instead of thinking, I can't handle this, reframe it as, this might be difficult, but I have overcome challenges before and I have the skills to navigate this too. Think about it, okay? Think about it. There's so many things you've overcome, you've forgotten many of the things. And I think about that song, How I Got Over, How I Got Over. My soul looked back and wondered how I got over. Sometimes we get through it, sometimes it's a struggle. I won't sit here and try to say everything is all right all the time. It's easy peasy. It's not. But just as I said, just think back on the challenges you had before and just say, I have the skills to navigate this too. I can do it. Like the water boy, I think it was the water boy or somebody else on the water boy said, you can do it. You can do it. Okay. Acknowledge and celebrate your victories. Don't be ashamed. Don't be too shy to celebrate your victories. Honey, celebrate your victories. Sir, ma'am, celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Did you take a deep breath and approach a problem logically? Recognizing your ability to manage these situations builds confidence and resilience. And you can go through the next one a little easier than you went through the last one. Number 5, practice uncertainty tolerance. The desire for certainty can fuel anxiety. Research during the COVID-19 pandemic found that intolerance of uncertainty is a risk factor for society. That's true. Intolerance of uncertainty is a risk factor for anxiety. Instead of fearing the unknown, practice accepting that life is inherently unpredictable and develop a level of comfort with the unknown. You got to do it. If you don't do it, you just might fall off into some anxiety that you're not destined to go into. But if you don't do something about it beforehand, you'll go into it, okay? So instead of fearing the unknown, practice accepting that life is inherently unpredictable and develop a level of comfort with the unknown. Okay, I'm thinking about that Bing Crosby. That's life. That's what the people say. Hey, I feel like playing that song, but I won't play it today. Reframe thoughts like, I need to know exactly what will happen, as I can handle whatever comes my way. Have you ever told yourself that? Whatever comes my way, I can handle it because you have no other choice but to handle it or succumb to it. So, which would you rather do? Handle it, okay? Expose yourself to situations that make you feel slightly uncomfortable with the unknown. This could involve stepping outside of your comfort zone or trying new activities. For example, try a new restaurant without reading reviews first, or take a different route to work. Those are just beginning some things, and then you'll be able to do more and more. So during these experiences, pay attention to your thoughts and emotions and practice staying present with the discomfort or uncertainty without seeking resolution or uncertainty. And then sometimes it might not be your choice. Have you ever been gone somewhere? You took the wrong turn, you ended up somewhere, you said, ooh, oh, I don't know about this part. I don't know about going through here, but you go through it anyway. You go through it anyway because you need to get out of it, and you have to keep driving or whatever you're doing to get out of there, okay? All right. Here's some more tips. Understand your triggers by identifying situations that make you crave uncertainty. Is it a need for a detailed daily schedule or a need to always have a backup plan? Here's a question. You have to question the belief that you always need to know exactly what will happen. Ask yourself, do I always need to know what's going to happen? Do I need to know exactly what's going to happen? And even if you ask yourself that question, whether you say yay or nay, you're not going to always know exactly what will happen. But you can ask yourself, is needing certainty truly helpful, or is it causing me more stress? Next point, when worry about the future creeps in, gently bring your attention back to the present moment. Engage your senses. What do you see? What do you hear, smell, taste, or touch? Come on back. We had an evangelist used to come to Saintsville, and sometimes the bishop would invite him to preach, and he would say, "Come on back, come on back." With people he would be preaching, and he was get start talking about something else, and I guess he would feel that the people's minds were drifting or something. He said, "Come on back, come on back." So come on back, okay? Number 6, future cast. Future cast. Don't future trip. Hey, I like that. But let me go back right here. Here. I want to do this again. When worry about the future creeps in, gently bring your attention back to the present moment. Engage your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, or touch? Number 6, future cast. Don't future trip. Worry often stems from future tripping, catastrophizing future scenarios. While it is natural to acknowledge potential challenges, refrain from dwelling on worst case scenarios and mentally rehearsing all the ways things could go wrong or would go wrong. And there are people, we talk about the chronic worriers. People just worry. And you try to say, well, you can't, come on, calm yourself down. Try not to think about that. That might not happen. Try to help people. Some people seem like they just want to worry, but you can try to help them, but you know how far to go. So, while it is natural to acknowledge potential challenges, refrain from dwelling on worst case scenarios and mentally rehearsing all the ways things could go wrong. Future casting means envisioning what you want the outcome of an uncertain situation to be in a constructive manner, and then channeling your energy into strategizing to increase the likelihood of achieving this outcome. Work on it. So, how do you future cast? Number 1, create a mental or written narrative of how you would like things to turn out, to unfold, focusing on realistic and positive scenarios. Visualize yourself overcoming obstacles, and adapting to changes. You can do it. Yes, you can. Number two, envision your ideal future state. What do you want your life to look like in a specific area? Your career, your relationship, etc. Think about it, okay? Number three, brainstorm actionable steps you can take right now to move closer to your vision. You hear me stress your vision, okay? Now, these could be skill building activities, networking opportunities, or starting small, manageable tasks. Number four, focus on progress, not perfection. So many of us, we focus on perfection instead of the progress, but focus on progress, not perfection. Sometimes it's hard to do that too, but do not get discouraged by setbacks or unexpected detours. Celebrate each step you take, no matter how small, as it brings you closer to your desired future. Think about that, okay? Think about that. Focus on the progress, not the perfection. Number five, revisit your future cast regularly. Adjust your vision or action steps based on new information or experiences. Not the same old, but new, okay? Future casting empowers you to take control of your future, replacing anxious speculation with concrete action planning. Okay? So while the term future casting itself is not often included in clinical research, it is acknowledged that anxious individuals tend to engage in more negative future thinking, while positive future thinking can help reduce anxiety. Seven, reframe what ifs as what thens. All right? Reframe what ifs as what thens. Okay? What thens, THENS. Our minds love to dwell on negative, hypothetical what ifs. Shift your perspective by reframing what if scenarios as empowering what then plans. So when faced with anxiety inducing questions or thoughts about potential future events, channel your energy into constructive problem solving by asking yourself, you hear me stressing yourself, what can I do if this situation arises? Because you're the only one can deal with it. People can empathize, they can sympathize, but you are the one that has to deal with it. Okay? For example, instead of what if I lose my job? Ask yourself, what would I do if that happened? And what skills could I leverage to find a new opportunity? Focus on identifying actionable steps and contingency plans that you can implement to address potential challenges. Once you have your what then question, brainstorm potential solutions. So this could involve updating your resume, networking your contacts, or exploring new skill building courses. It's never too late to, hey, work on your skills, gain some more, build on the ones you have. It's never, never too late, okay? The act of brainstorming solutions empowers you. Even though we cannot predict the future, having a plan for potential challenges helps you feel more in control. So choose one or a few actionable steps you can take right now to move forward with your solutions. This could be contacting a former colleague or researching online training programs. Practice this reframing technique regularly to train your mind to respond to worrisome thoughts with constructive action rather than spiraling into anxiety. This simple shift in perspective from helpless worry to proactive planning empowers you to take control of the situation. How about that? Number 8, cultivate curiosity. It's all right to be curious, okay? In a good way. Okay. I know a lady, she said, I cusses, but I cusses in the right way. But hey, you can be curious. You can be curious in the right way. Cultivate curiosity. Cultivating curiosity about your worries can help you stop worrying about things you cannot control. By approaching worries with a curious mindset, you can shift your perspective, promote self awareness, facilitate problem solving, reduce avoidance, and cultivate acceptance. Ooh, that sounds so good, doesn't it? This allows you to focus on what you can control while letting go of what you cannot, ultimately reducing the impact of worries on your well being. Now, remember, we're talking about your well being. I'm talking about my well being. It's a personal responsibility taking care of ourselves. People can come along, they can help you out, they can suggest this and that, but if you don't put that into action, the things that are good for you won't ever get away from this worrying and all of this. This allows you to focus on what you can control while letting go of what you cannot, ultimately reducing the impact of worries on your well being. So, to implement curiosity and manage your worries more effectively, try these following tips, okay? Number one, ask exploratory questions. When a worry arises, ask yourself questions like, what is the root cause of this worry? Or what can I learn from this situation? So, this helps you gain a deeper understanding of your worries. I like this. Number two, practice mindfulness. Observe your worries without judgment as if you were in excuse me, practical mindfulness. Observe your worries without judgment as if you were an impartial third party. This helps you maintain a curious and objective perspective. Now, I want to tell you, you might not get it the first time, you might not get it the second time. But you practice this, and I believe that you will be helped. Okay? Number three, challenge your assumptions. Question the thoughts and beliefs underlying your worries. Ask yourself, is this worry based on facts or assumptions? And are there alternative ways to view this situation? Sometimes there are different ways you can look at something and get the answer you need. Sometimes people just stay in one thing, in one track mind. No, there are other ways, alternative ways that you can look at situations, alternative ways to solve problems, okay? Number four, focus on problem solving. When exploring your worries, identify aspects you can control and brainstorm actionable steps to address them. This helps you channel your energy into constructive problem solving. Constructive problem solving, okay? Number five, embrace uncertainty. You say, what? What are you saying? Embrace uncertainty? What else are you going to do? Embrace uncertainty. Accept that some things are beyond your control. Instead of worrying about them, practice curiosity by exploring how you can adapt to and cope with uncertain situations. Ooh, that's good. By incorporating these tips into your daily life, you can develop a curious approach to your worries, helping you manage them more effectively and reduce their impact on your well being. And they have worksheets on here, and I will put the link to these sites, okay? Number nine, utilize humor as a coping mechanism. Have you ever been in your deep, deep despair? And we want to call it that. Been so upset and you just want to cry and cry and you just want to leave me alone, let me cry, let me holler, let me shed my tears and all that. And then somebody comes along and says something funny and you can't help but laugh in between the tears and the hollering. It's happened so many times to me. Okay? So utilize humor as a coping mechanism. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins or body's natural, which is our body's natural feel good chemicals. This makes you relax and injects lightheartedness into a challenging situation. Into a challenging, sometimes you, like I said, you just want to cry. Let me cry, let me cry. I just want to cry. I don't want anybody bothering me. And then here comes that one with the funny thing. Oh, it happened not too long ago. Not too long ago with someone I know. Oh, yes, it comes in handy, doesn't it? Research has consistently found that having a greater sense of humor is linked to lower anxiety and stress. Research, research, all right, is proven. It's been tried, all right? So then it's been concluded that fun and humor were found to relate positively to psychological well being and negatively with worry. No, yeah, that's right. That's what they have negatively with worry. So, furthermore, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, internet memes related to the pandemic served as coping mechanisms for people with severe symptoms of anxiety. Every day, look for sources of amusement you can rely on, whether it is watching a funny movie, reading a humorous book, or watching stand up comedy on Netflix. So, in addition, surround yourself with people who make you laugh, have a lighthearted perspective, or share your sense of humor. Okay? That's good. Okay, I have some more tips here. More tips, and I have 5 minutes. Find the humor in worrisome situations. Maybe it is the exaggerated nature of your worst case scenario. The next point here is use self deprecating humor sparingly. They have that here, okay? Be cautious with self deprecating humor. But a joke about your worry can break the tension and remind yourself not to take things too seriously. Next point here is write down your worries in a humorous way or create a funny story around them. Creative expression can be cathartic and help you distance yourself from the worry. It's crucial to strike a balance between using humor to manage worries and addressing genuine emotions. Avoid using humor to mask or suppress feelings. You know, I have to start that sentence again, don't you? Avoid using humor to mask or suppress feelings, as this can lead to unresolved emotional issues. And here's a great point here. We can't stress this too much. We have to keep reminding ourselves, keep reminding you, keep reminding myself, check in with yourself regularly. And if you find that you're consistently using humor to avoid dealing with deeper concerns, allow yourself to experience your emotions and seek support when needed. All right? Do that. Don't just let it linger and linger and linger. Seek support if you need help, even if you think, well, maybe I do. If you think like that, get some help, okay? Please get some help. Remember, while humor is a great coping tool, it should be used in moderation alongside other techniques like mindfulness, problem solving, and seeking help from trusted friends, family, or mental health professionals when necessary. All right? So, by finding the right balance, you can effectively manage your worries while maintaining emotional well being. Number 10, explore the therapeutic benefits of nature. If you need a break from your worries, try giving yourself some time in nature. And I really like doing that, okay? So if I just go out and I might not sit, I might stand, I look up at the trees, I listen to the birds. I even can, if I see something crawling on the ground or whatever, just as long as it stays away from me, that's nature. And it's wonderful, wonderful. And it's a wonder, okay? So while the worry will probably still exist afterwards, being in nature could provide a much needed respite from feeling stuck in your spiraling thoughts. Incorporate regular nature walks or hikes into your routine, immersing yourself in the sights and the sounds, the smells of the environment. Consider joining a walking or biking group to meet other people. Studies show that spending time immersed in nature offers a multitude of therapeutic benefits, including reduced anxiety and improved mood. A review of 14 studies conclude that outdoor therapeutic practices can improve mental well-being. And so I am going to close out now. I still have some left, but God willing, I will continue those on Thursday for Point of View with Miss Shirley Polk. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you, and I trust and pray that you will have the rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon, midday, morning, whichever it is, that it is great for you. And you can contact me through these sites. There's a way to contact me, message me. Thank you so much. And remember, Peace of Mind Counseling, 469 629 9543. Thank you. I love you.